At ESPN Draft Nerd, Flostradamus Jeremy Green puts together another A-plus mock draft here in the Sportsocracy. Thanks for tuning in, and let's talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars. They took the leap with Doug Peterson in the house. Now you got Trevor Lawrence developing into something. You're adding pieces in the offseason. Well, you added Calvin Ridley last year with the trade. This is a team that's got a very high rising stock.
They do, and they don't really have any holes. I mean, there's nothing that I have to take, which is why they're able to sit right here at their pick at 24 and take a top 10 player in this class for me.
At number 24 overall, Osiris Torrance, guard out of Florida.
He is a motherfucking house. And has some of the biggest legs I've ever seen. Great drive. He's going to be an immediate impact guy in the run game. I think you slide him in between Cam Robinson, Luke Fortner, who I liked last year. Get a healthy year out of Brandon Sheriff. You got Walker Little over on the right side, which is where he belongs. And now I'm looking at your line going, this is good. This is good. I considered tight end because of the Evan Ingram thing until Trent Baalke came out and said they're getting close on an extension. That is their goal. He is the long-term tight end. I would be interested in one later. I do not have one in this mock, but I would be interested in one later, potentially. I love Osiris Torrance. And I think the next iteration of Jacksonville, taking the next step, you're going to have to be able to run the ball more consistently. This line was phenomenal last year as a pass-blocking unit. Was not great as a run-blocking unit. I'm seeing reading the tea leaves here of Osiris Torrance would be a great step in the right direction.
Osiris Torrance, then blocking for another ETN. That'd be great.
It's true.
Because he blocked for
Go
his
from
brother
Trevor
in Florida.
to
exactly.
Travis.
Exactly. Or vice versa, right?
You went from Trevor to Travis.
Yes.
Travis
okay.
Etienne.
Yeah. There you go. There you go. 256 overall. Second round, Keeley Ringo, cornerback out of Georgia.
And this is a guy that I know they like. Look, Jacksonville really likes big corners. They want to have another on the opposite side of Tyson Campbell to really set themselves up. Now, the thing that's really difficult for me with Jacksonville is that I think Darius Williams is better in the slot, but all of his tape and all of his production has been better outside. So I don't know how they're going to rationale that. I really don't. And I'd be lying to you if I said that I did. But I look at who they've talked to over the course of the draft process. It's a lot of bigger corners. Deonte Banks, who I considered in the first round, Keeley Ringo here. I think you're going to add one of those guys. How you make all those pieces come together, I don't know. Ringo, in terms of height, weight, speed, is a monster. Then you watch the tape, and the best way I can explain it is I think he sees about 14 butterflies a day. Because he just gets lost in them. And then he tries to catch back up. And sometimes he does because he is a 4.36 guy with long arms. Sometimes he doesn't. And when he gets beat badly. So you're going to really have to round the form off, but you can be patient with him in Jacksonville.
Number 88 overall, third round pick for Jacksonville, Byron Young, edge rusher out of Tennessee.
This kid has one of the weirdest stories I think I've ever heard. He's much older than your average draft prospect because he was out of football for 18 months. After he graduated high school, he didn't really have any offers. So he went and managed a Dollar General for 18 months, then went to Georgia Military College, became one of the highest sought-after JUCO guys in the country, then went to Tennessee and really showed explosion as an edge defender. My biggest knock on him is he's 25, and I'm not so sure he's going to get any better. And most of the tape I have on him, he was significantly older than the guys he was playing up against. I'm not going to tell you he has I think his floor is incredibly safe. I don't know that there's much past the floor. He's one of those that I think your range of outcomes is about this wide. Mm-hmm. But he can come in, be a situational guy, 6'2", 250. So to me, this is an Arden Key replacement because I think he is athletic enough. I mean, running a 4.43 will do that to you. At 6'2", 250. Just have to know he's uncomfortably raw, more of an athlete than a football player. That's probably the best way I can say it. Right now, he is way more athlete than football player. But for what they would ask him to do, taking that Arden Key role, that's exactly what you would want.
All right, the Jags have 2 picks in the 4th round. The first one at 121 overall. Carter Warren, tackle out of Pittsburgh.
Not been many guys I've argued with or argued over more than Carter Warren because I like the kid, 6'5", 311. I mean, there's athletically, I really like him. There's just no production. He was a team captain. He's got this massive wingspan, and I watch him on tape, and I never really saw it. There are some people that think he's going to go in the back end of the second. And are you watching a different tape than I am? Because I don't see that anywhere near this kid.
So he wasn't dominant at the ACC level.
No.
What makes you think he could be at the next level?
No, and he can the way he's built frame-wise, he can keep pass rushers away from him. I just don't see a ton of high-level tape. I think he's a swing tackle to start. And who knows? Maybe they didn't get the most out of him. Maybe that's what other people are seeing, is that there's this great leap that he's going to take. He's a little old to me for that, but I'm officially to the point of, okay, I'm going to take where you guys have him. I'm going to take where I had him, and I'm going to kind of meld that in the middle because there is good tape. There's just not a ton of it. So if you're taking the good, going, that's who he is, all right, then I'm wrong, and he should go higher than this. But the body of work lends itself to early in day 3.
6 picks later at 127, Dwayne McBride, running back from UAB.
Yeah, this is not somebody that we disagree on because I like him a motherfucking lot. Had over 120 yards in all but one game last year. He runs violent. He runs hard, 5'10", 210, and there's just a ton to like about him. You're just going to have to teach him run like that all the time. Don't dance behind the line. And you run into that with several of these guys that go in day 3 as running backs. If he would stop dancing and just, all right, I'm hitting the B gap and I'm hitting it hard,
Yep.
He would have been a day 2 pick. And he may be a day 2 pick. I want to see him paired up with somebody like Travis Etienne because I think it gives him the best chance to succeed in the league. Because you're going to have to teach him to be a pass catcher because he's damn near never done it. He was literally the running back. They had another guy that would come in and attempt to catch passes.
Not always successful at that.
Team was not an overly fun team to watch. I mean, just put it that way.
All right, sitting out the 5th round of the Jacksonville Jaguars, but they have 3 picks in the 6th. 185 overall. They'll go with Trey Dean III, safety out of Florida.
And you know that I lean on the schools that are close to you because the local scouts have a really good beat on these guys. Trey Dean ran a 4.75 as a safety. That's not good.
No.
He's also 6'2", 200 pounds, and he plays very, very physical and very tough. His tape says he's faster than that. And this is one of those times that I think that he's going to end up with either the Atlanta Falcons, the Jacksonville Jaguars, or the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, or the Miami Dolphins. Because they will have scouts that go, I've been around this team enough. I've seen him enough. Okay, so he's not a track guy. All right, we're never going to put him out. If we start running the 4x4, Trey Dean's not going to be on our team. He plays faster than that. Starts as a special teams guy. I think his floor is as a high-level special teamer. I think his high side is and I think this is a role you're going to start seeing more because we're getting more prospects in these draft classes that pander to this, the tight end slayer. Because I think he can be really good in, and I hate to say the slot because I can't put him in the slot against a slot receiver, but take a team like the Giants that has Darren Waller. All right, you put him in the slot, yeah, Trey Dean's my guy. Mm-hmm. That's the guy I want on him.
At number 202 in the 6th, Tyler Lacy, defensive tackle out of Oklahoma State.
He just doesn't have a position. He could be a 3-4 end. He could be a defensive tackle. Hell, there are some people that think he could be a defensive end, a 4-3 end. I am not one of those. I think he plays to the interior. You're going to have to really work to get it out of him. And, I mean, you got to understand, this was a kid that got pretty high-level coaching. You know, this defense, not last year, but the year before, was really good. And he was a piece of that. I'm not sure that that he's ever going to reach the potential. If you told me he would be the best that he could be, he should be a 4th-round pick. I'm just not sure you're ever going to get it because he's always going to be a tweener.
208 overall, Aubrey Miller Jr., linebacker from Jackson State.
I really want to put this kid higher. I do, but I can't figure out where. He's an off-ball prospect, really instinctive. The body frame is going to be a problem because he's only 230 pounds. And I'm just not sure that you have the – I'm not sure you have the raw athleticism. When he ran a 4.71, that basically guaranteed, okay, you're going to be a late project special team guy to begin with and hope we get the best out of you. He doesn't really have a tremendous flaw, but then you have to take into account you're playing at a much lower level of competition. Not sure how it'll translate. He was actually pretty good at the Senior Bowl. So that is where I started to really gain hope for him. Worst case scenario, he's a 2-down player in the NFL. And I think he would stack in nicely 2 years from now with Jacksonville.
All right, and the Jacksonville Jorts final selection will be at 226 overall. Kadeem Telford.
In the words of the great Ric Flair, he's a big damn dude. 6'8", 320 pounds. And he is about as raw as it comes. You're really going to have to work with this kid because he's one of those that you can tell he's always been and this is a different way of saying something that I say a lot with players. He wasn't the best player on every field. He was the biggest fucking player on every field. He's got really long arms, gigantic frame, but there's never been a real technique. It's just, hey, look, I'm a giant and you cannot get into my body. When he would play better edge rushers, he got annihilated at times. And so that's why you can get him here. He's one of those that you need to put in mothballs for 2 years. And really, the O-line, he needs to be the O-line coach's best friend. You're teaching me everything in your brain because I don't really have any of the tools to be an NFL player right now. But if you're patient, that could develop.
All right, the A-plus mock draft for the Jacksonville Jaguars starts off with some beef on the offensive line. Osiris Torrance, Keeley Ringo added to the secondary. You get some bits and pieces down there. Dwayne McBride could be a hell of a compliment to Travis Etienne in the backfield.
He's a running back that I really like. I want to come away from this draft with a second running back because you need to replace that James Robinson production. If you like these picks, if you hate these picks, if, frankly, you want to just call me a big mulleted dipshit, you feel free to do that. You can do it in the comments. You can at me on Twitter, at ESPN Draft Nerd. We will have one more 7-round mock draft coming out for every team. It'll be basically 5 minutes. This is who I think you're getting. This is your needs. The last final summation before we're live for every pick of the 2023 NFL Draft right here on YouTube.
Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, share it out with your friends as well, and tell them all to join us right here in the Sportsocracy on Draft Night. We will see you then.